Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you very much for that wait. We are about to head into our grand finals of the FSL MLBB Indonesian tournament. Once again, my name is Aris and we are about to jump into our first game between BELLETRON Battle Angels and Siren Moon. And without further ado, let's just jump straight into the draft. First phase already taken place. We've got a very interesting draft right here. BELLETRON Battle Angel is going to begin on the blue side, and then we're going to have Siren Moon begin on the red. So if you catch the semi-finals, we will see that Siren Moon did manage to edge out NGID Esports ICO in a 2-0 series, and in the background, you know, we also had concurrently run. We had BELLETRON Battle Angels against EVOS Esports that also ended in a 2-0. So BELLETRON Battle Angels now. I'm gonna pick up the Asmurder, Hanzo, and Jawhead. Siren Moon gonna be playing that Popo and Koopa, as well as the Kufra. I'm pretty surprised to see a Popo and Koopa revealed this early. I think they're gonna run the double MM, you know, run Popo and Koopa as one of the side lanes, and they're gonna pick up Tamus as the other side lane as well. I think this is where they should ban out a marksman, either marksman or a tank, something that, or a tank, you know, something that they will be worried going up against. I think an Atlas would be a really good ban here. You force the opponents to go on either the Grok or Hylos, and they decide to ban the Angela. That could be something that they might have done their studies, you know. BELLETRON Battle Ghosts, they're the female division of BELLETRON, and I'm sure that a lot of people at home, especially you Indonesian fans right now, are a big supporter of them. I think they might have done their studies. They might seen the past history. They know that one of the girls has a really good Angela play, and I gotta say Vivian most likely is the Angela play. I'm just gonna have a shot in the dark here. I'm not sure if I'm right, because she's playing the Selena. She played the Selena in one of the games, and then I also believe that she played the Atlas in another one. So she's been setting up a lot of this fight for her team, and I guess now they've banned out the Angela because of one of the players, and I'm just, you know, just putting my bets on Vivian. BELLETRON Battle Ghosts, they banned out the Uranus. I think that's a really good call, although I would have preferred to see another type of ban. But the thing about Popo and Koopa is that it's a flex pick, right? It's one of those picks where you can run her as the main marksman, the carry, hyper carry role, or you can even run her as or run him as the side lane. So I think that's the flexibility that Siren Moon has. They can also run Cho as a tank, but obviously with Kufra being picked up, Cho is gonna go to the side lanes. I'm not surprised about that. I think now they are looking to fulfill the final role, which will be the support mage. Kagura getting picked up by BELLETRON Battle Angels. I would say Grok looks pretty good here. I know with Atlas still available on the board, I think he could be considered, but they want that early game aggression. They want to have that Grok rotating around, being able to use the power of nature to clear the waves really quickly. So this is just my take on why they chose the Grok. They picked Lancelot as the last pick. I like it. We have seen a lot of successful games with the Lancelot, you know, being able to clear waves really quickly with the taunt rolls, and then, you know, having the puncture to just close the gap between them and the backline. I think the backline here in this case is either the Kagura or even the Hanzo in some cases, where, you know, you're trying to look for the real body. So I guess that's where Lancelot will be really useful to jump to the back line. So we'll see how this game goes, but remember, this is the grand finals. It's gonna be a best of 5 series between BELLETRON Battle Angels and Siren Moon. I'm sure that you fans are out there, and you know, if you want to root for any of the teams that have already been knocked out, it's okay. You still can show your support, comment, and do remember to share the stream. Remember, do like us on our Facebook page at FSL Mobile Games, or Twitter FSL_GG, and our Instagram at FSL.GG, so that you can get all the upcoming news about the FSL circuit that's currently on hold.
The enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them. All troops deployed.
Belletron's just gonna make sure they clear up the waves. Meanwhile, we do see Popo and Koopa indeed playing that hyper carry role.
Request backup.
Not the most usual of cases. The current meta in most of the regions is to put Popo and Koopa as a side laner, although you know, with the correct amount of farm, Popo and Koopa can indeed hyper carry the match. Just not that easy to catch out as well. Meanwhile, Ashe is going to be up against this Tamus. Decent lane for the Asmarda, I gotta admit. Meanwhile, middle of the lane, look at the amount of damage. The burst was just too much. And they got the first kill onto the Grog. Siren Moon kicking off a perfect game for them thus far, although the farm is indeed lesser due to the waves being cleared way quicker. Yeah, from Hanzo, who's been able to steal a couple of buffs, I believe. Maybe not a buff, but has been able to rotate a lot quicker as compared to having a traditional marksman. Meanwhile, Lean did manage to secure another kill alongside this Lancelot, definitely working really well out for Siren Moon. Ashe, the 1v1 against the Lear. It's really vital that we don't see BELLETRON Battle Angels fall too far behind. They are ahead by like 500 gold, although I gotta say that Popo and Koopa is running on the support role. Oh, another team fight happening in the jungle right now. Popo surprise coming up. They get the stun onto Gummy, uses the unstoppable force. They get the kill onto the Kufra, and now they're sticking onto the Lancelot, who's using the Taunt Rose. They get the kill onto the Kagura, and now they're going for the chase on Gummy. A little bit for a chase, but they do pick up the Grog, which isn't too bad. Once again, BELLETRON Battle Angels falling behind in terms of kills. Siren Moon trying to secure the turtle, getting stolen away by Ashe at the very last second. The Stardust Dance will pick up the kill, or rather the turtle. Because of that, they managed to stay ahead, not only in terms of gold, but I believe in terms of EXP is pretty even, but it's still slightly ahead in the favor of BELLETRON Battle Angels. And obviously with the turtle steal, that would put them ahead even further. Meanwhile, we do see Siren Moon trying to pressure BELLETRON by as much as possible. BELLETRON is just biting back in the mid lane. Venom coming in at a really good time. She has just caught opponents off guard. Siren Moon trying to stay in this game by keeping ahead in terms of aggression, but BELLETRON Battle Angels just making that Hanzo work like a clockwork. 2-0 in this point in time, rotating from lane to lane, trying to win whatever engagement they can. Decent damage on the Popo and Koopa. Real body found out by the Lancelot puncture, not gonna land his mark. Phantom Execution did not land onto the Hanzo, although I think even if it landed, it wouldn't have done too much because Venom was at full HP. Pinnacle Ninja State activated. Venom looking for the kill right here. Kills off onto Lean. One more hit should do the trick. And yes, she will get it.
Turtle resurrecting soon. Request initiate retreat.
Meanwhile, Tamu's down to half HP, forced to use the Cauterin Inferno, although it looks like they are not interested in a fight. They just want to defend against this wave. Top lane, Jawhead against Bill. Though it's a fairly even fight. I guess say Siren Moon are pretty much just
Request backup.
trying to hold off BELLETRON Battle Angels. How funny it is. Like just a couple of moons ago they were ahead in terms of kills and now they pretty much overtaken. And BELLETRON Battle Angels are now going to secure the second turtle of the game. The first one stolen away by Ash at the very last second. Ash Mother using the forward star one there. They just jump in the middle of it all. Gummy. Getting stunned up by the Chikundo, although trying to buy some time, and they manage to get a kill onto Popo and Koopa, but Brock's in a lot of trouble. Pixie forced to use the ball charge to get out of trouble there. Venom. They get the ejector, they get the double stun. The puncture does his job. He's got a phantom execution once again, missing his mark. Not being able to land onto Gummy. Torn Rose comes up, a lack of damage. They do secure the kill onto the Grok. But Lancelot is in a lot of trouble. In Young overturned there as Vivian picks up the kill onto Jelly Char. And now middle of the lane, BELLETRON Battle Angels, they're not stepping down. They want every single kill. The kill is good. The Soul Rip comes up. Asmurder jumping in. One more hit. And the Stardust Dance will pick up the kill onto the Popo and Koopa. Siren Moon's plan has been currently thwarted by BELLETRON Battle Angels, who are now just finding kills all over the map. But that is a little bit of a sacrificial lamb right there. Kagura going down on Lin, getting locked down. Or rather, should I say Venom getting locked down by Popo's surprise. Bill. Wild charge coming in from Pixie. Not enough damage, but the Stardust Dance will come in. The falling star move from Ash secures the kill onto the Cho. Unicorn on the run. Popo surprise once again, saving her for the second time in a row. Jelly Char taking a hit from the power of nature, but it's not enough. Venom just ahead at this point of time. 5-0, building into the Blade of Despair. Pretty sure this turtle will get that Blade of Despair for herself. Meanwhile, Siren Moon starting to move S5, trying to outnumber BELLETRON Battle Angels. The wild charge is good. It's a 5-man catch out. The ejector comes in. It tosses right on top of the 3 members. And not even the Way of the Dragon will keep themselves alive. 2 members just down in a second. And Venom wasn't even part of it. She was busy securing that turtle. Vivian just doing a good job at holding away members on the side of Siren Moon from stepping out of the base. Umbrella to get herself out of a sticky situation. Meanwhile, Ash split pushing onto the bottom. And at this point, Thomas just can't hold against Asmurder by herself anymore. She needs a little bit of support coming up from the rest of the teammates, but they're too busy in the map, stopping this push from coming up. Once again, Venom onto the backline, trying to go for the kill of the Popo and Koopa. They will find that. Pixie charging up on the power of nature. Decent peel onto Lean. In a lot of trouble, isolated away from the turret. You don't want to be underneath the tier 2. Gets out in the very last second. The wall nearly getting in. Oh, the Phantom Strike comes in, gets the kill onto the Kagura. They get the ejector out. Lean forced to use the flicker to get away, but Unstoppable Force will allow the Jawhead to catch up. Meanwhile, Ash staying alive with Stardust Dance. Ejector onto Cho. Too far away from the rest of the teammates. One more hit, but just out of reach from the Asmurder. And now Venom is on the back line. I think. Oh, just so lucky. Lin did manage to save her time was with the Tyrant's Revenge. Agami now tried to go for the buff steal. Didn't really work out, but it did delay for a bit. Asmurder following up, but it's all a foil. Look at that, the Hanzo with the crit gets the kill onto the Lancelot and now leads the next target, being slowed down. And Hanzo gets away with a double kill. Venom now really fed Hanzo. In Young Overturn coming up. Unicorn dropping really low. Popo and Koopa, third one to fall from the side of Siren Moon. They did manage to walk away with 2 kills on the Jawhead and Ass Murder, but that was all just a setup.
Launch attack.
And a delay for BELLETRON Battle Angels to get their kills. Or rather those kills. And now they're gonna get the lot. 11 minutes in, they are ahead in 3 or rather 8k in terms of net worth, and obviously EXP just hugely in the favor of the blue side. In Young Overturn comes and shreds Jelachar down to half HP. And at this point, BELLETRON Battle Angels, they're looking to play patient, you know, just push in, no necessary diving needed. Respecting the opponents, just making sure they get those necessary kills. Joey Umbrella comes up. Oh, they managed to grab all 4 members of the Young Overturn. And here comes Venom coming in for the final blow. They get 3 kills onto the, or 2 kills onto the back line. And now they're just isolating members of Siren Moon within their base itself. The knockup comes in, the ejector onto Lean, the wall just to stop her. The unstoppable force, but she forces to use the flicker. Now the priority of Siren Moon is to try to take down the Lord as fast as possible. Jellychar doing what she can with the Taunt Rose. She gets another kill onto the Hanzo, and that might be the saving grace. Unicorn getting stunned up by the ejector. The power of nature, too much for Popo and Koopa to handle. And that is 3 tier 3 turrets going down in a flick of an eye. Now Valor onto the back line. Grog now with the power of nature, but not enough HP. Just delaying time for the Ass Murder to run away. And although Ass Murder, or rather Lancelot, did manage to get 3 kills out of the engagement. Look at that, the base is naked, it's open, it is exposed. And BELLETRON Battle Angels are now just breathing down the necks of Siren Moon. Phantom Execution letting its mark. Good execution coming out from Jellychar. Vivian just lingering nearby, not really committing to anything just yet. Siren Moon's got to quickly push out these waves because BELLETRON Battle Angels are now all up except for Ash, who's coming up in 10 seconds. Meanwhile, Vivian making moves on her own, gets caught by the Popo. Surprise! Pixie over here to bail her teammate out. The wall comes in, and here comes Hanzo, the Executor, and she will get a kill onto Lean. Demon Taunt just doing so much damage at this point in time. Another fight happening in the middle of the base. The Umbrella comes in, they get the kill onto both, or rather the Lancelot, and they might even get the kill onto the Tamus. The flicker comes in, he catches up the pace, and not only that, it's going to be a double kill onto Unicorn. And I'm afraid this is pretty much GG. The Hanzo pick, too much for Siren Moon to deal with.
Victory!
And what can I say? That was really a tough fight for Siren Moon. They were trying to stay ahead in terms of kills, but eventually, you know, BELLETRON, they were just farming way quicker. They were able to rotate faster because of the Hanzo. And I think Jellychar did really well in this game. She was getting a couple of kills, missed a couple of Phantom Executions, but I don't think that was the reason why they lost. I felt like, you know, Siren Moon was just not able to make full use of these Popo and Koopa. Really good Popo surprises though. Managed to catch out, I think, a couple of BELLETRON members in good fights. but eventually I think the Hanzo pick was just too much. 12-1 for Venom, you know, and she was just all over the map, you know, farming, stealing away these jungle creeps, and eventually just accelerating way quicker in terms of net worth as compared to Jelly, I wouldn't say Jelly Char, but compared to the entire team of Siren Moon. And even for Jelly Char, yes, she's not too far behind, only 2k gold lead, but you gotta take things into perspective, right? You're looking at Siren Moon rotating S5 in order to stay alive in a lot of these team fights, and it does cost Siren Moon quite a bit, because Belletron, Battle Angels are then freed up to split push in the lane. You got Asmardo, who's a really capable solo side laner. Same goes for Jawhead, winning their individual fights and then, you know, just waiting for the call to go into team fights. And I think Vivian also did a really good job with the Kagura to isolate members of Siren Moon away from the base. You could see that happening at the very final moment where, you know, she was just standing outside the base, just daring Siren Moon to step up, using the umbrella to make it really hard for them to come up, you know, using the CMA umbrella to just go in, and then, you know, using the Yin Yang Overturn to group all of them up together, or rather knock them back, and just exposing the backline for Hanzo to come in at the very last second. So with that being said, well, Belletron Battle Angels really dominant game 1. Yes, they were behind in terms of queues, but you could see that they were really comfortable with that situation. They knew they were ahead in terms of net worth, they were not too worried, and also Ash with that steal onto the turtle, who knew? Came in at the very last second, the falling star moon, and then bam, just managed to get the turtle underneath the nose of Siren Moon. I'm sure they would be filming about it, but we'll go for a short break. But when we are back, game 2 between Belletron Battle Angels and Siren Moon is really vital for Siren Moon to pick up here, because they don't want to give Belletron Battle Angels too far of a lead, and, you know, it does take a toll on the mentality of the game, and as well as going to game 3, it might not be the best for them, so because of the pressure and whatnot. But we'll see how that one goes. We'll take a short 5 minutes break when we are back. Game 2 between Belletron Battle Angels and Siren Moon. Alright, after a slight delay, we finally are back for game 2 between Belletron Battle Angels and Siren Moon. If you missed that out, Belletron Battle Angels did manage to pick up the first game against Siren Moon, and it was due to the Hanzo pick. It was really good, really crafty play coming up from the girls from Belletron. And now we're gonna see how game 2 will transpire. Remember, it's really important for Siren Moon to get game 2 back, to bring the momentum back into the court, and let's just jump straight into the draft. So this is how the draft looks like as of now. We're going to be seeing them swap sides. So Siren Moon's going to start on the blue. And we do have Popo and Koopa and Hanzo getting banned out. So you don't want to give any of that to Belletron Battle Angels. They take the Popo and Koopa out. They know they got trashed by the Hanzo the first game. They know that's a really vital part of Belletron Battle Angels draft. So they take it out of the picture. In return, they ban out the Asmardo. And I think another hero that they can look to ban is either the Selena or even the Valor. You know, Valor has seen a really high ban rate, and it's no surprise. It's 100% pick ban rate coming into the FSL MLBB Indonesia tournament so far. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a Valor getting picked up, given that Kufa's been banned. So I think a Valor is a really good pick here for Siren Moon. Although they choose to pick up the Claude, so not too bad. They choose to give the Valor away. I think that is understandable, given that you know, Claude has been really vital in being able to speed up the pace at which most marksmen cannot keep up to. So Belletron Battle Angels, well, they still don't want to go for Valor. They pick up the Kaja. And, you know, there's a lot of heroes that's available. With Asper, they getting banned out. Heroes like Uranus, you know, heroes that like Jawhead, heroes like Cho, they become a lot more useful and become a lot more dangerous because of Asper being missing. That being said, though, it looks like Siren Moon, they finally decide to go for the Valor. I think another hero that they can go for is actually the Selena or Angela. Angela got picked up. You know, it was banned by Siren Moon the previous game. And it looks like Siren Moon is one of those teams that if they're not going to go for the hero themselves, they will either ban it out or they will just completely try to not have it in the game. So heroes like Popo and Koopa, right, which they played first game, second game, they know they're going to play it, they take it out of the picture. Angela was banned out by them in the first game, and now they're gonna pick it up for themselves. So I think Siren Moon knows that these heroes are strong, and that's why they're banning out. They don't want to give it over to BELLETRON Battle Angels, but hopefully it doesn't really get to them too much, because I think if they take too much account of the hero being really strong into their books, they might give up, you know, more opportunities that's out there, right? Heroes like Selena, heroes like Grog, heroes that they have been comfortable with leading into the grand finals, and now they're just throwing it away just because they're up against the strong players like BELLETRON Battle Angels. So hopefully they still got their mindset on the right track. Kimi getting picked up by BELLETRON Battle Angels. I like that. Nothing much to really break down. You know, Kimi's just really good. I used to, you know, when the meta was still in the 1-2-2, I loved to play Kimi because she was able to just cut the waves and put a lot of pressure on the side lane that she was at. And even as a marksman down the middle, you're critically going for that mage build, and so you generally build items that's cheaper as compared to, you know, other marksmen who are building that Blade of Despair, who's building, you know, even for an endless battle, you generally get your spike first as a Kimi because of that range that you can abuse, and it's just so tough to catch a Kimi out early game. But we do see the Selena and Joyhead getting taken out of the picture, and BELLETRON Battle Angels, I do feel like they can go for another tank. I think another tank would be really good here, although they really have the Karja, so they might consider even a mage or another fighter. You know, Cho is still available, Xbox available. They decided to go for the Xbox, and they're gonna give the Cho over to Siren Moon, and they're considering this Valorant pick, although I do feel like Atlas would be a good pick here. Atlas definitely does seem like a good pick. They have the Valor, you know, and you know, I think they have a lot of lockdown at this point in time. Hylos is fine as well. Valeric is fine. I mean, whatever tank they go for, they pretty much have a decent draft. The reason why I say Atlas is because you can go for the Fatal Links, and that if Lean, who's playing the tank, can catch 2 to 3 more members out on the side of BELLETRON Battle Angels, that sets up for a really good team fight for them, because they have the Claude, they also have the Valor, you know, a lot of AoE control, a lot of stun, a lot of CC, and that actually just works out really well. But you know, the side of BELLETRON Battle Angels, they go for the Gutter Gacha. I would presume that is as sort of a counter against the Cho and the Claude pick. If you think about it, you know, Claude's gonna go with the Battle Mirror image, and if Gutter Gacha is able to catch him off the Unbreakable, then or the Untouchable, then that becomes quite an issue for them, because Cho is caught in a bad place. You know, the damage will reflect back, and I think that's where the side of BELLETRON, they're looking to do that. They're looking to just shut down Siren Moon's draft by, you know, picking these heroes that can counter against the Cho, counter against the Claude, and you know, with the fact that you pick up Gutter Gacha means you can jump onto the backline. So Valor is no longer that safe. In the past, you know, over this in the past, but prior to the Gutter Gacha pick, if you look at it, you know, there wasn't really much heroes on the side of BELLETRON Battle Angels that could jump into the backline. Now with the Gutter Gacha, you know, with the Avatar of the Garden, he can jump into the backline, he can catch, you know, Siren Moon completely off guard, and you still have Uranus as a frontliner, you still have Xbox Uranus, so you don't really have to worry about the Kimi getting exposed, because there's going to be constantly one of these heroes that's on the backline protecting that Kimi. So really balanced draft from BELLETRON Battle Angels. I really love that coming out from the raid team this time around. Remember, they've got game 1 in hand. If they can pick up game 2, they will be on match point, or rather championship point. Once again, a big shout out to Dreamcore, Yahoo, and Super Solid for being our partners of the FSL MLBB Indonesia tournament. Remember to comment which team you are rooting for. Let's check out our Facebook page at FSL Mobile Games.
Mobile Legends. 5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them. All troops deployed. Initiate retreat.
Siren, we're gonna kick things off with an early game invade into the blue buff. They did manage to steal the Claude, and I would presume that that's what they came for. Really good invade coming off of Siren Moon. And now, just to make sure that their own blue buff is kept alive, Angela gonna drag it away, reset the buff, make sure that Gummy doesn't steal it away. Now Bella's also gonna be dead. They really want to keep this blue buff for their own Claude, who's now currently taking great buff. And you can see she's already about to hit that level 4. This is gonna be a really happy Claude early game. Meanwhile, Cho getting slightly bullied by this Xbox on the bottom side. Kaja just gonna be lingering around. See if he can steal something from Ring of Order, although it doesn't look like that would be happening because the claw is just really well protected. And I really want to put a lot of focus on this Angela here because you could see they were clearly trying to ban it out. And now they picked it up for themselves, using those love waves to keep herself alive, you know, making sure that she's able to force to use the flicker. But she did get out of trouble. Maximum charge, not enough damage at this point in time. Ash did go a little aggressive onto the top side, although there is no Qs. They did manage still keep up in terms of levels. Both Mark Span level 5 at this point in time. Venom already on the top side, so they kind of switched lanes there. They knew that it was really hard for the Uranus to push against this Angela, so they're sending Gummy down to the bot lane to deal with it. They get the Divine Judgment, and that's gonna be first blood going in the way of BELLETRON Battle Angels, who are leading with a 1k goalie. Pixie Boba will have to it catches me off guard. just a bovine that he but we do see Siren Moon once again going for another invade, and they still manage to get the blue buff. Now that's 2 blue buff taken away by Siren Moon. Not sure if BELLETRON Battle Angels would be too happy about that. Lane trying to do her best to push the Xbox back. See, immediately swap the lanes. They really want this Cho to go against the Xbox and make sure that the lanes are kind of kept equally. But with that, they send Gummy up. It's just a case of swapping lanes. These two, they're just going back and forth, these two teams. And once again, the Divine Judgment getting the pull on to Cho. And a very dangerous range of Uranus. One more hit. Divine Judgment already used. See Hot Guard being used as well. Mistaking it right. She's just waiting to use it on someone. I believe it's gonna be the Claude, and that's where, you know, they really want to make sure this Claude has what it, or rather say what it takes, but you know, have the maximum amount of protection when he's going in for the Blazing Duet. You know, there's a lot of lockdown available on the side of BELLETRON Battle Angels, so it's really vital that Angela uses her Hot Guard at a very precise moment when Claude is going in. But in the meantime, BELLETRON Battle Angels up by a couple of hundred gold. In fact, it's 1k gold lead now. 2k to be exact. Ash just lingering nearby. They are setting up for a team fight at this point in time. Gami shredding lean. Team fight breaking out right now. Last Insanity being used at the last second, but Gato Gacha with the catch on Jellycha, and I spoke about the Gato Gacha, the fact Gato Gacha is definitely going to be a pain in the Claude's throat. Trying to constantly use Unbreakable to, you know, get the taunt in. It's worked so far for them. They are ahead by 3k despite the blue buffs that they have lost to this Claude. They have been able to keep up with the pace of this game. Now Garmin trying to go for the raid invade, although the Claude is too quick.
Turtle resurrecting soon.
Unicorn trying to find some spot members of BELLETRON out using the burst fireballs. Vivian lingering nearby. They have all their ultimates available. And Garmin's gonna be the first one to jump, and they don't get the turtle, but they might get something out of this. Kimi now joining on. Hard guard coming up, but no team fight, so that's kind of a waste. But you know, better be safe than sorry. Meanwhile, BELLETRON Battle Angels already working on the first tier tower. They immediately take it down. Last Insanity being used in the middle of it. All those fire missiles are starting to spread apart. And wow, that combo coming up from BELLETRON Battle Angels.
Initiate retreat.
And you can see this combo coming up from BELLETRON where they're getting the Uranus to jump in with the Transcendent Ward, and then you know using Gata Gacha to taunt everyone in the Unbreakable, and you know, and then the huge ultimate coming out from Venom on this Xbox with the Last Insanity. Just so much AoE control and really scary ultimates there. You could see just pulling time and time again. And then when all of them are just group up, obviously Ash is going to be really happy as a Kimi player because you know maximum charge has a spill effect. It's gonna you know hit everyone in AoE. And then you also have a Kaja who's gonna be able to lock someone down with that Divine Judgment. Once again, they get the kill with the Divine Judgment onto the Angela. Though it's not one of the core members of the team, a kill is still a kill. They will be very happy with that. BELLETRON Battle Angels now ahead with this 5k goal lead.
Request backup. Turtle resurrecting soon.
Oh, Avatar of the Garden used really bad spot, but they still managed to get the target that they want. Despite that, no follow-up, none of the members were able to catch up to Gata Gacha, and this might be a really bad teamfight for BELLETRON Battle Angels to wear the dragon onto the Kaja, isolating her away from the rest of the teammates. That is a good pickoff, and they also get the kill onto the Gata Gacha prior to that, so that's good. Siren Moon taking what they can get from BELLETRON Battle Angels. Like I said, that was a really bad ultimate coming up with the Avatar of the Guardian, a bit too far behind the enemy lines underneath a tier 3 turret, and they would not I mean the rest of the teammates of Gata Gacha were not able to pick up, so a bit greedy for Pixie. But despite that, they're still up in terms of goal lead and experience. They got 5k, they managed to get the turtle. You know, even though Siren Moon did manage to win that team fight, they were all low, so they couldn't do much even after they won that. They had to go back to heal, and because of that, BELLETRON were able to recover fast enough, you know, grab a couple of objectives along the way, like jungle camps and the turtle. A lot of major items coming out for Siren Moon. Necklace of Endurance coming up on the Angela, and you also see the Endless Battle coming up for Claude. Endless Battle is just such a good item, like whether you're a fighter or you're a marksman or a mage, not a mage, sorry, but you know, a fighter or a marksman, you can build into the Endless Battle. It's just such a cheap item to have. Last Insanity all to the backline, they get the kill on the Jellychar, and I think it was actually the Divine Judgment that started all of Vivian spawning out the Claude, trying to go for the blue buff. They punish her for that.
Launch attack! Launch attack!
now. Belletron Battle Angels, they take up the tier 3 turret down in mid. Just pushing the Siren Moon back. It's just so tough for them to step off the base. And even now, Ashe got that she's managed to build into the Winter Truncheon. So even if Claude comes in, all she has to do is just pop it, and she will be safe. There's practically no threat to Ashe right now. She's got all these, you know, monstrous tanks around her, just, you know, making sure that she's protected. Why don't I get this kind of games as a Kimi player? And a bit of an overkill there, but they did manage to secure the kill onto Claude once again. A bulk of damage going down for Siren Moon, and the moment the Claude goes down, you can see that Siren Moon are not interested to take a fight whatsoever. The Searing Tower is to push the Uranus away from the base, but they're trying to keep this creep alive. They will definitely get this tier 3 at the bottom. Question is, can they hang on long enough for Jelly Char to come up? Just diving underneath the base turret right now. They haven't even gotten the tier 2 in the top lane, but that doesn't matter. They won game 2 in hand. And Belletron Battle Angels slowly stretching at the base. Slowly poking. Look at that Vivian. Despite only having magical damage, she's got decent damage onto the turret. Glowing Wand coming up from the Xbox as well. I spoke about how Glowing Wand works really well on Xbox, knowing that, you know, the way Glowing Wand works is it doesn't really care what kind of damage you output, as long as you're using your skills. It shreds the max HP, right? It counts by max HP. So if she jumps in with the fire missiles or even with the last insanity, she's gonna hit a lot of the members on the side of Siren Moon, and it's gonna proc the effect of the Glowing Wand. So despite, you know, Xbox skills scaling with physical damage, you still can pick up a Glowing Wand, and it is still a decent pickup. You know, I think Xbox is one of the exceptions where you can pick up a magical item like Glowing Wand onto a physical hero like Xbox. It does work that way. Finally, Belletron Battle Angels, they will get the tier 2 on the top side. Lord pushing in. And Siren Moon, I'm sure they only have one more team fighter. They can pick something off out of here. They might be able to stage a comeback, but it just looks so tough. They have been able to do it before. We saw them did it against NGID in the second game. But Belletron Battle Angels, they're just another monster. Look at that Pixie just jumping in without a can. The Whirlwind getting shredded to pieces. They get the high loss. She has immortality, but that's only going to keep her alive for a couple more seconds. They finally get it. Last Insanity onto the back line. They managed to blow the Valor up, although he has the Winter Truncheon. And now Heartguard isn't even going to keep Jelly Char alive to get her down. And that is game 2 in hand. Belletron Battle Angels, too strong.
Victory!
And what can I say? That was as good as a game it can get. Wow. I mean, Belletron Battle Angels, they're looking unstoppable at this point in time. Just give it the Claude really, like, they know they have what it takes to stop the Claude, and they sneakily left the Kaja pick open by, you know, they didn't even pick the Atlas, so that was still an option on board. So they gave away the Claude. They picked up the Kaja for themselves. They know they have the lockdown, right? And then they follow up with the Uranus pick, given the Ass model was already banned out by themselves. And so they were just daring Siren Moon to pick up all these heroes. And I would say Siren Moon, you know, they took the bait, they took the Claude, and because of that, Belletron Battle Angels were able to pick up the Kaja as well as the Uranus, and then, you know, they follow it up. They gave the Valor away, they gave the high loss, but they were not too worried. You know, they were like, you know what, go ahead and take it. They gave it away, then they went for the Xbox. You know, they knew that they were going to run this Kimi marksman, and they made use of the early game, despite Claude taking away 2 blue buffs from Belletron Battle Angels. My question is, did that even look like that mattered? Because BELLETRON Battle Angels was still ahead in terms of a goal lead, and despite the experience difference, it was just very minute. And I think what made BELLETRON Battle Angels draft a success was because of the fact that they knew how to win their lane engagements, where you could see Angela at the bottom lane and they were constantly switching, right? You could see Cho at the top, Angela at the bottom. When they switched lanes, BELLETRON Battle Angels would react to that. They would switch to Uranus and Xbox to make sure that the Xbox was constantly winning the Angela, and every time they switched, they would do the same thing. And eventually, you know, they crumbled upon the pressure of BELLETRON Battle Angels, and Pixie on the gacha, that ultimate though, just coming in, setting up the fight, and you know, just allowing Uranus as well as Xbox to come in to do this stuff, and using Unbreakable to taunt them, holding them in place. And I think the burst damage from the Transcendent Ward from the Uranus, as well as the Last Insanity from Xbox, definitely did their toll in the team fights, and just so much burst impact. What can I say? BELLETRON Battle Angels, they're just another class above all of these teams. That being said though, it is not the end. Siren Moon still have one more chance at this. Remember, it's a best of 5 in the grand final, so we'll definitely have a game 3. And if Siren Moon, they need back-to-back wins to bring it all the way to game 5. It looks tough. It looks like an uphill task against BELLETRON Battle Angels, but they have been in this situation before. They were on the back foot against you know, NGID in the second game and in the semi-finals, but they did manage to come back. So hopefully they can, although you know, they are up against a very formidable foe, hopefully they can do it in game 3. We'll go for a short break, but when we are back, game 3 of the grand finals. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally back for what potentially could be the last game for the FSL Mobile Legends Bang Bang Indonesia tournament. We are going into game 3 between Siren Moon and BELLETRON Battle Angels, where BELLETRON Battle Angels have won games back to back against their opponent in what is a really interesting series. I think BELLETRON Battle Angels drafting sets is just so strong, right? They bait Siren Moon into picking up the Claude. They pick up almost every single counter imaginable against the Claude, right? You got the Kaja, you've got the Gacha, you've got a lot of Zhao there. I just realized counters against, you know, they pick up the Uranus, heroes that can lock down the Claude in place, and that's obviously not what you want as a Claude player. My head's just going really crazy. But yeah, I think for the most part we have seen BELLETRON Battle Angels in a really strong performance so far coming in, and I think the draft has begun. So without further ado, let's just dive right into it. Here we go, game 3 draft going on right now between these two teams. And like I said, if Siren Moon want to stay in the grand finals, they have to win games back to back to back. And you never know, they might be able to come back 2 games strong and go to game 3, game 5. Well, they're gonna kick it off with a Kaja ban, the Claude ban on Siren Moon's part. And I think BELLETRON Battle Angels, it really depends on what they're feeling like. Hashtag please pick Mia. I want to see a Mia in grand finals. Come on, you can do this, goals. I think on a more serious note, if they please pick Mia. Please don't pick Mia. Please don't. But on a more serious note, if BELLETRON Battle Angels really are taking this game 3 very seriously, I think they'll just straight away go for the picks that are really meta. You know, heroes like the Valere as the first pick. I think Atlas, you know, is really viable if Valere is being left out. There's also Cho, there's Jawhead. There's just so many heroes now in Mobile Legends Bang Bang that I would say the first or second pick has an advantage because of the large hero pool that a lot of players have access to. In the past, maybe first pick was good because you could pick that 1 broken hero, or maybe second pick was good because you could pick 2 broken heroes. But now, given that there's so many heroes on the board, you know, it's not really like an advantageous thing to go for second. I think BELLETRON Battle Angels, they have proven that even if you give away a Claude, you still can pick up heroes that can counter him really well. They go for the Esmeralda first pick, and why not, right? Esmeralda 100% pick ban rate coming into the Indonesia games, And looks like Siren Moon are homing with Access. I don't think they will lock that in. I think they'll go for something like a Kufra, you know, Valor's on board. You can pick up something else like, I don't know. At this point in time, I think whatever Siren Moon picks up, it's more important that they keep up with the early game aggression. But I like the Valor pick, like I said. One of the heroes which I think is really useful in a lot of team fights. They got a lot of AoE control, they pick up a Kufra as well. And BELLETRON Battle Angels, I mean, they can go for the Jawhead, they decide to go for the Ling. By the way, Ling I think has a 0% win rate coming into this tournament. I'm not even kidding, I haven't taken a look at the numbers, but from every game that I've casted so far, from what I can remember, Ling has a 0% win rate, so it is what it is. They pick up the Atlas. Interesting draft though. Atlas gets hard countered by the Valor because of the slow and the fact that, you know, Valor can push the Atlas away, which is using the perfect match. So it's interesting to see that they want to pick up the Atlas. Although I do see why they want it. They want to pick up heroes that can set up a lot of these team fights for the Ling to go in with the ultimate. And I would say, I think Ling's ultimate is really good if there is follow-up. Like if she's going in alone and he's gonna be all by himself, he is exposed because Tempest of Blade can only do so much.
Your team is banning.
They ban out the Xbox. I think BELLETRON Battle Angels are gonna ban out either Marksman or I would say a Fighter would be a good ban. The Cho or Jawhead would be a good ban here, just to deny it away from Siren Moon. So rightfully so, the Jawhead ban comes up. Siren Moon can now look to take a Marksman for themselves. I think either the Granger or Bruno is good. Yeah, I feel like if I'm Siren Moon, I would daringly leave the Marksman open. I'll go for the Cho pick, just because, you know, there really isn't a need to pick up a Marksman at this point in time. Whether or not, I don't even think BELLETRON will go for a Marksman because they've already picked up the Ling. They have shown that they're very comfortable to play without a Marksman, and true enough, they go for the Zaz and Angela pick. Boom! Mind blown there with the Zaz pick. Zaz is really good. I like Zaz, right? Zaz is very underrated, and given the right scenarios, I think Zaz is just so hard to do. You've got a Nightmaric spawn, and you know, I think of Zaz as a moving target, right? When he uses the ultimate, he's like a moving turret. You can kind of control him, and a lot of players don't realize this. They can actually just summon the spawn and just exit it, and then you have two. That's only if it's a 1v1. But if, you know, in an AoE you want to control the fight, then you shouldn't do that. But yeah, I think Zaz is a good pick here, but a little bit unorthodox, I would say. They also pick up the Angela. I think the Angela is just to protect the Zaz when he's in the Nightmare spawn. I think that's just a little bit of a flex, on BELLETRON's part. I keep saying BELLETRON, I'm sorry, the name's just so similar. But yeah, I think it's really a flex on BELLETRON's part. They're just feeling so comfortable. They want to flex on the fact that they have a really huge hero pool. And I think Zaz is just a wonderful hero because they can now put a bit of lane pressure, and given that Ling is going to be the one that's going to be rotating around more often than Zaz, Zaz is pretty much going to stay in place. So what I see them playing is a Zaz and Esmeralda side lane. That's what I think they'll be playing. And then you got a Ling, Atlas, and Angela rotating around the lanes. That's what I think will run out. Because if you look at Venom, she's picking up the Inspire Better skill, and the only reason why I see Venom picking that up is to be able to win that 1v1 engagement and be able to use Inspire on the ultimate. And that will allow the Nightmaric spawn to hit a lot quicker. And obviously when she's using the Dominator's Descent, she will hit a tad harder. once again, if you haven't, so I don't know why you haven't, you should follow our Facebook page at FSL Mobile Games and our Instagram at FSL.GG. If you like, if you're one of those Twitter birds out there, you can follow us at FSL_GG. Remember, we'll also be releasing news on the FSL circuit as fast as possible. The moment the whole COVID situation dies down, we can then announce more news about it and how we're gonna conduct the circuit in the later part of the year. But for now, BELLETRON Battle Angels 1 foot already as the champions, but Siren Moon looking to spoil those plans by, and the only way they can do so is to win like a 3-2, so it has to be like a reverse sweep. As hard as it sounds, it has happened in other tournaments before, so I wouldn't be counting that out just yet. And while we're waiting for the players to fix their audio issues, I believe it might be a couple of audio issues on either team's part. And as one-sided as it seems, I can guarantee you it's not a one-sided affair. Siren Moon has put in quite a shift coming into the grand finals. They were dominant throughout their qualifiers, and I think the only game that they struggled just a tiny bit is against NGID, where game 2 was really close, but they won one team fight and that changed the entire game. The moment they won that one team fight, it just took over. And this is why we're seeing them going up against BELLETRON Battle Angels, who they themselves have faced a couple of interesting opponents coming up to this grand finals. They managed to beat lots of highs. They also, I believe, also managed to beat against members like EVOS Esports. They also managed to beat Villa. So a lot of these decent teams, I would say. They also beat Geek Community. So a lot of huge household names in the esports scene in Indonesia taking part in the FSL MLBB Indonesia tournament. I love it. It's a really good platform for female gamers out there. And finally, we got game 3 going on. Let's go!
Till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them! All troops deployed! Request backup! Request backup!
Battle Angels gonna be rotating around, and I'm not sure what's gonna be. Yep, it's gonna be the Zaz on the top lane. So it is gonna be a support Angela with Ling as the hyper carry of the team. Already off to a good start, doing decently against Unicorn. Gonna push the Valet all the way back into the base. Also forced to burn the flicker there alongside with the Cho. So already not the best start for Siren Moon. And they might even lose the Cho right there. The Nightmaric Spawn will pick that up. First blood going in the way of BELLETRON. And look at that. Tart already down to half HP. Meanwhile, bottom. Oh, the Asmor, the counter to the Uranus. That is a bad matchup for Gami. Or rather, a bad matchup for Bill. And I would suggest them to switch lanes. Although it doesn't look like it's gonna happen anytime soon. I do feel like switching lanes will help Siren Moon by a lot, because the longer this Asmurder and Uranus matchup continues, we already see what will happen. And I gotta say, even for the top lane, it's gonna be so tough for Bill to keep up with Venom, because she's gonna spawn that spawn. Look at that. She's just gonna constantly keep her distance away from this Cho, and it's gonna be really tough for Bill to find a good fight at all. Because every time she wants to come close, she has to run through all these hive clones, and it's gonna be quite a tough task in this matchup. But that being said, wow, okay, okay, I eat my words there. Did really well. Managed to stick right on top of the Zask. It shouldn't happen, honestly. Accidents do happen. Meanwhile, Gummy still having a really good lane against Bill. And here comes the rest of Siren Moon. Make sure that the Uranus doesn't get bullied too hard.
Request backup.
Total fight about to happen, coming up in 10 seconds right now.
Turtle resurrecting soon.
Atlas using the perfect match, trying to find a good entry point to use the perfect fatal links. Why did I say perfectly fatal? They will start out by taking the total. And looks like Link did manage to secure that. Nihon getting stunned up. That's pretty much a dead Valir. Meanwhile, Gami still sticking onto Bill, who did manage to get the movement up. However, BELLETRON, they really want this Uranus. They get the stun up, they annihilate, but it's just too tanky to deal with. Meanwhile, we already got Zaz, who did manage to pick up the tier 1 turret on the top side. I spoke about the matchup. Like I said, BELLETRON Battle Ages, they do have the better in terms of they do have the upper hand in terms of lane matchup, and this is where I think things might get a little bit scary for Siren Moon. Though Siren Moon did manage to get a tier 1 turret in the mid lane, so that does open up a bit of space for them to rotate around. Wow, they're really bullying Bill on this one lane. They don't want this Uranus to be able to push out. Venom forced to use his Numeric spawn as well as the Dominator's Descent to keep alive. Meanwhile, Fatal Links as a setup coming up from Vegan, hasn't used it just yet. Green stunned up by the puppet on the string. Once again onto the pullback. Kufra misses out on the Tyrant's Rage, and this is where Unicorn can go ham. They got the kill onto the Bruno though. BELLETRON Battle Angels not gonna be happy about that. They lost the link beforehand, and a good team fight breaking out for Siren Moon. But despite losing 2 turrets there, they did manage to come back a little bit with that fight. You can see how quickly Venom is able to spread that turret, although they just want to secure that buff away. Meanwhile, we do see Bill once again in a bit of trouble. Ash just on the run. Gami just sticking onto this Uranus, and that shield is not gonna help Bill one bit. Uranus is just gonna have all those shields eaten up by Gummy, and it really doesn't matter. Oh, Vivian, the Fatal Links catches on to Kufra instead of the Bruno, but that doesn't matter though. Vivian being isolated away from the rest of her teammates. Cho, meantime, did manage to get the steal onto the turtle. While all of that was happening, and Siren Moon trying to keep their opponents close in terms of net worth. Only 2k standing in between these two teams. Magic Talisman coming out for the Uranus right now in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, Esmeralda, she's already gotten the 2 first tier turrets, so she can help her team in terms of rotation. Ashe forced to use. Oh, the Fatal Links! He catches 2 members out. I'm sure Lean will go down, taking too many turret shots down there. Pixie will follow suit. And it's I would say it's a 2-for-1 trade. Valier almost getting caught out by Zusk. And although the Mind Eater did not land onto the Valier, they still managed to defend the tier 1. Esmeralda still trying to push against one wave, but Bill relentlessly defending it, not wanting to give it away. Oh, catches 2 members out, nearly missed that. And they get the kill onto not only the not the Uranus, but the Qualifier. They also get the kill onto the Cho. Puppet on the string. Might be able to stun out Jelly, who uses the Purify. Here comes Esmeralda to secure the kill. Meanwhile, Ling already pushing onto the middle turret. And Siren Moon forced to make a bad team fight there onto top lane. Kind of overstayed, I would say. And Venom just making this Zaz work so well. Coming out of the Dominator's Descent, caught a lot of the members of Siren Moon off guard. It seems like whatever Siren Moon throws towards BELLETRON Battle Angels, there's always a solution, there's always something that BELLETRON has that's, you know, keeping them in front of Siren Moon's reach. Although it does seem like Siren Moon, they're not gonna go down without a fight. They're just trying their hardest to keep their opponents close. Another team fight gonna be happening really soon. Vivian in a really good spot, gets the Fatal Links, tosses the Bruno onto the backline, but here comes Ling. And Ling's just getting shredded. The Puppet on the string doesn't even need the stun to come up. They get the kill onto the Valier. And although Esmeralda for Vivian, one more hit, one more crit. Oh, too far. Oh, Jelly nearly getting the kill onto the Atlas there, but eventually will fall. I think that was might be the turret shot. Meanwhile, top lane, Bill getting stunned by Puppet on the string. Venom following up with the stun. Although Uranus is tanky, she doesn't want to take too much damage there. Lane trying to do her best to push alongside the Bruno. They did manage to get the tier 2 in the middle, and it is tied currently, 4 turrets each, and I wouldn't say any of these teams have an upper edge. Despite all of those kills coming up from BELLETRON, if you look at the scores really carefully, it's neck to neck. These two teams just going at it. I'd say the next team fight will definitely decide who gets the Lord and who will stay ahead in terms of farm. Gami standing in front. Look at how much shield she has. And someone on the side of Siren Moon has already gotten the Necklace of Durance, and that's gonna be Valier. I would have hoped for her to build into a glowing one, honestly, but I can't see the urge and the urgency to build the Necklace of Durance. And now fight gonna break up right now. Fight into 2. Gami onto nearby. Look at that. The Dominant's Descent just threading right through all of these members. The stun comes onto Unicorn. Tempest of Blade allows the Link to catch onto the backline, and it's gonna be a 4-man wipeout, and they only lose Vivian. And although the Lord is in Siren Moon's favor, look at how quickly they're just shredding it down.
Launch attack!
Pretty much gonna use the Nightmaric Spawn to shred through this turret. 4 men down the middle of this lane. And if they continue pushing, they might be even able to get a kill there. And yes, they bait out the Cho, the Tempest of Blades to secure the kill. And I'm pretty sure this is gonna be GG. BELLETRON in the 3rd game. They are your grand champions.
Victory!
What a series this has been. BELLETRON Battle Angels up against Siren Moon. And you know, unfortunately for Siren Moon, they were not able to get any game in hand. But that being said, they still put up a one hell of a fight. So congratulations to BELLETRON Battle Angels. Like I said, they are your champions of the MLBB, or rather the FSL MLBB Indonesia tournament. Want to give a congratulations to them and a shout out to all the other girls that took part. They really put in a shift right there. But what can I say? BELLETRON Battle Angels were just one step ahead of everyone. A perfect tournament game for them. They didn't even drop a single game, and that's really impressive given, you know, the opponents that they faced. They even had to beat EVOS Esports, and you know, it was a 2-0 series, so it really does speak volumes of the toughness of these girls. But that being said, that concludes our tournament. If you haven't already, do remember to like and follow our Facebook page at FSL Mobile Games. Check us out on Instagram at fsl.gg. You can also follow us at Twitter at FSL_GG. And do remember to like and share the stream with friends. Although it's come to the end, my name's Aris. I really had fun casting all of these games. I also want to give a big shout out to our sponsors and partners, Dreamcore, Yahoo, as well as Super Solid for helping us out in FSL. Remember, we'll be dropping more news on the FSL circuit in due time, so do keep a lookout for that. And thank you very much to you viewers at home. Hopefully you've enjoyed my casting. You can check me out on Facebook at, you know, This Is Aris, and that's facebook.com/thisisaris. But enough of self-promotion, and this is the end. You know, thank you very much. Hopefully you've enjoyed the FSL MLBB Indonesia tournament, and this is me signing out.